I started losing my hair when I was probably about 27, 28 years of age.
It made me feel stressed, it made me feel old. I started to lose confidence.
Hair transplantation is all that we have at the moment, which forms a permanent form of solution to this problem.
Yeah, I rang up National Hair Institute. They organised a consultation for me to come in and have a chat with them.
Our whole focus is on finding out what the person's problem is and then suggesting a range of treatments that they may be interested in.
I feel fantastic. I have a different lease on life. I can wake up in the morning and I'm not preoccupied with something so insignificant as my hair.
And what they say at the National Hair Institute is so true. If you look good, you feel great and your confidence shows.
Today we'll be speaking to a wide variety of people about the subject of hair loss. History has shown us many solutions to male pattern baldness. The benefit for you today is that we've come a long way. Many of these past solutions either don't work or simply don't look natural. Today we show you the only hair loss solution that achieves a completely natural look and most importantly, it's permanent. Male pattern baldness affects 40% of all men before the age of 40. In 95% of these cases, baldness is caused by hormones. Once hair loss begins, it continues in a natural progression. There aren't too many options for the prevention or concealment of hair loss. The hair loss industry is huge. There is no shortage of ways to either treat or conceal this natural progression known as hair loss. But there is no 100% cure. Using a hairpiece or wig was once one of the most popular methods of concealing hair loss. Other methods, such as hair implants, involved artificial fibres being inserted into the upper dermis of the scalp. Most methods available today require much ongoing maintenance. Now there's a permanent way to avoid the embarrassment of going bald and keep your youthful appearance. Keep watching to find out how.
We lose our hair because of our parents. We've got the wrong genes and also because we're male. That's really what it's all about. And if you're female, you can lose your hair, but a much lesser percentage.
The main reasons that most of us lose our hair is because of what's called androgenetic alopecia, where we have a combination of two factors occurring, which is a set of genetic factors where we inherit a genetic predisposition to hair loss. The other factor is a hormone called DHT, which is a breakdown product of testosterone. It's created through an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase in our scalp hair follicles. What it does through its production is attacks genetically predisposed hair follicles, and we get a process of hair follicle miniaturization over a period of time. And then what we have happening is that the hair in those regions changes, and there are a number of different events that occur. We have this progressive miniaturization of the hair follicles, so we have more hairs in a shedding phase. The hairs that regrow become finer or thinner. They then start to sit flatter to the scalp, and then they can also become less pigmented as well.
So this is the problem. You've got the number of hairs being reduced, and you've also got the volume of hair being reduced because the diameter of the hair is less.
What we don't know for any one individual is how much hair loss they're going to have over their life and how rapidly they're going to get there. But the mechanism is one of genetics and hormones.
The hair loss in men is generally a receding pattern, a bitemporal recession there, and then the crown starts to go, and then they meet up and you get a typical U-shaped pattern of hair loss. The women tend to retain their front line and then they thin through the top here.
The hairs in the back of an individual's scalp are DHT resistant, and they will continue to grow throughout your lifetime and stay healthy and DHT resistant throughout your lifetime. And this effect forms the basis of hair transplantation for us. It's a surgical procedure that involves us taking hair from someone's donor region at the back of the head where they have this DHT resistant hair, and then relocating it to areas in which they're undergoing male or female pattern hair loss.
There are, of course, other methods to prevent androgenetic alopecia. Minoxidil is a topical solution applied twice daily. Finasteride is a drug which blocks the formation of DHT. These are two of the only medically proven methods of prevention of hair loss. Just like most medications, these methods don't work for everybody. The National Hair Institute understand this. They also understand that these methods can be expensive in the long term and, of course, are not permanent.
Certainly, historically, there's been a number of different things that have been used in terms of trying to restore hairlines and improve androgenetic alopecia, particularly for males. In the past, there's been the usage of things such as scalp reductions and rotational flap grafts that have been done. From there, we progressed through to then the stages of punch grafts, which were done.
And typically, at that time, we were transplanting 4 to 5mm grafts containing 15 to 25 hairs. And that's typical of the dots and the rows that you'll see with the old transplants. Then it was quarter grafts and then mini grafts, and now we've got follicular unit grafting, in which the hair is transferred exactly as it's growing, be it 1, 2 or 3 hairs. This is the smallest graft that we can put in that will give us 95 to 100% growth. The beauty of hair transplantation is that it is permanent. The hair will continue to grow as long as it would have grown at the back.
I think the worst thing about losing your hair is your confidence level. You know, you're always checking, you wonder which way the wind's going to blow.
When I realised I had a condition at 21 which resulted in hair loss, unfortunately it interfered with most parts of my life.
I'd hate looking at reflections in shopping centres and cameras when entering Safeway, and it would just stress me more and more. The more as it got worse, the worse I felt, and I just knew I had to do something about it.
I did keep it to myself, and I did try and hide that from a lot of people. Apart from a few close family and friends who obviously, to try and make me feel better, assured me there was no problem, but evidently there was.
As the hair started to thin, I felt I was wearing caps a little bit more, and as the density lessened over the years, I got to the point where I couldn't actually brush the hair up anymore. I had to just comb it forward because there was no density left.
For me, it's very isolating. I guess being 21 years old, I was in an age bracket where there definitely wasn't hair loss issues amongst men or women. And then adding to that, I was female. There was no female hair loss that I'd ever heard about or known about. You know, when you go out, you wear a dress, you wear your hair down. It represents how you feel as a woman, and I didn't have the opportunity to do that.
It made me feel stressed. It made me feel old. I started to lose confidence.
I just felt I would look better and younger had I had a full head of hair. So that was my reason for doing it.
I was looking at all the different procedures that were around. I didn't want to be popping pills all the time or applying things to my hair, and I was looking for a solution that was going to be permanent and that would, you know, it'd give me a lot more confidence and make me feel good about the decision I made.
There wasn't a lot of material there for me to reference for women's hair loss, which is why I'm here today. I feel that if somebody can use this information and my results to encourage them to go ahead with the treatment, then it would be fantastic for them, as it was for me.
I did request information from about 3 different places, and out of all the ones I received, it was National Hair Institute that seemed the most genuine and the most informative, and that's the reason I ended up going for an appointment with them.
National Hair Institute gave me some options that I could consider for the replacement of my hair that I'd lost. It gave me an option to recover from a condition that was beyond my control. It was taking over my life and really holding me back from being the person that I really wanted to be.
They make you feel very comfortable and confident that you're going to be under the best possible care.
In terms of shopping around, no, I didn't, because I figured the product I saw in front of me was very good, so I went for it.
The thing I liked the most is there was absolutely no pressure. I mean, they just sat there and said, this is the deal, this is what we can do, this is how much it will cost, and they just left it up to me from that point on.
It was really funny because when I went in for the procedure, I was so nervous and I had all these built-up anticipations of what it was going to be, and then I must admit, once it actually started underway, I think I fell asleep.
Initially I was worried about the pain before and after the procedure, but for me, I'd definitely consider having the operation again. It was completely painless. I felt comfortable the whole way.
All those built-up pre-misconceptions totally went out the door, and I would do it again, wouldn't even hesitate.
With hair transplantation, there's no ongoing maintenance or ongoing costs. I mean, what you pay for is basically on the day of the procedure, and yeah, the rest is just keeping the head of hair for the rest of your life.
The biggest thing that it does is actually give me an opportunity to dress the way that I want to. I definitely found myself wearing a lot of hats and a lot of headbands and things that would cover the area, which changes what you wear. You can't exactly go out on a Saturday night wearing a dress and high heels with a baseball cap on. Since
I've actually had the procedure done, it's totally changed my life. I'm a lot more confident. I can walk into auditions or on stage and I don't even bat an eyelid now, and I'm a lot more confident with the women too. It's great.
Got into the stage where I actually don't remember how it felt. to have a thin head of hair. It feels like it's been a long time, but I've just gotten used to having hair again, and it certainly feels much better than being bald, I can say that much.
Go to the National Hair Institute's seminars, being informed about what they can convey to you, check out ex-patients of theirs to find out what the results are like. That's what I did, and I've never looked back. And as I said to guys, they should invest in themselves as opposed to just bricks and mortar, because it's something that is permanent and it's a result that put a smile on their face for the rest of their life.